Hello and welcome. This is Melsgunner, and we're back with some more Motorsport Manager. And it is race day, and I did an experiment where I didn't have Alex Rogers participate in practice. Instead, I had a reserve driver who had better feedback, hoping that I'd set up the car a little bit better. Let's see if he gets the bonuses, though. He does. So, from what I can see, there is actually no consequence of not having a driver go through practice. So just have the driver that, gives you the best feedback for setting up the car, or somebody you want to give experience to do the practice. You don't necessarily have to have the guy that's actually going to race the race. All right, well, now that I know that, let's give us the bonuses that I think would be best for this car. So we're going to go with race trim and pit stop guru, which is going to give us a refueling bonus, speed bonus. And then over here, we're going to take the race trim and soft tires, I think. And for the car setup, hopefully we can get these a little bit better. So we had poor on Rogers' car, and it's going to be very hard to get it to be any better than that in both steering and top speed, because they were requiring me to have so much downforce with this car. The top speed, I really couldn't do much with this car. So let's just see. It is worse. I tried to make the car better, and we had 63%. I actually made it worse, and I made it worse primarily with giving it more downforce. So we're going to go the other direction with the downforce. This should, in theory, it might actually make our overall downforce worse, but in theory it should make our other things better. I don't know if it's going to be significant enough, though, to be honest with you. So this car is probably just not going to be very well suited for this race. And as a result, I'm going to be rocking medium tires, even though he does have that fueling bonus. As a matter of fact, I might go back and get rid of that fueling bonus, because I don't see the point if we're going to be running him conservatively. But all right, I'll do refueling. That's fine. All right, so that's going to be his car setup. Hopefully we improve the car. Let's change the setup here. So handling is the only thing that we didn't get good on this car, and it looks like it won't be too hard to do. We just need to come a little bit down on handling, and then maybe just balance it a little bit for the speed balance so that we're back on, so that we've got great. We're at 82%. I could go further with the stiffness, but I'm a little bit afraid that that will be too much of a change. So I'll do that. It should improve us slightly. It's better than the way it was. Now, with this car, I'm definitely going to go on soft tires. And we're going to probably go more aggressive on our strategy. So let's confirm that up. And in our driver strategy, we're going to be doing neutral with this guy, but we'll go push and high for Mustafa. I might go high engine mode with Rogers because of the refueling bonus. Why not? We'll try it. Might give him a little bit more power where he needs it. Now, the one thing is, Mustafa has improved quite a bit in driver standings, so he's going to be clear back here once we start this race. So it might be tough to actually get the 6th or above finish. We'll have to see. But in any case, let's go ahead and start the race now that we have everything set up. And we'll see how things go. I have high hopes for Mustafa, as long as being much further back isn't too much of a problem for him. But I am a little bit concerned. Alex Rogers is now in 7th, so that's because he dropped in the standings, actually. And Mustafa's back here in 16th, this is technically the furthest back we've ever started, because that's the highest we've ever been in the rankings. So let's go ahead and continue here. Actually, the first race we might have been further back. So I'm going to be in Rogers' seat here, as long as Mustafa's far in the back. But I'm hoping he picks up some spots here, which it doesn't look like he has. All right. So we're out of that initial turn. Let's go ahead and speed things up. Oh, wow. There goes Mustafa on the attack. Up into 13th already. He's going to have to fight the pack, though. And he's going to have a lot of competition back there. All right, so Rogers has been losing spots. He might have had a collision with the guy in 11th and 14th, I think. I didn't really pay attention to temperature and tires. It looks like we're kind of cooler here. So let's push a little bit. Oh yeah, it's much cooler. Although it's in Celsius. I don't know why it's in Celsius. I'm fairly certain I should have set that up for Fahrenheit. Maybe an update happened that reset my settings. We'll have to take a look at that in a future video. But I don't really know the centigrade system as well as I know Fahrenheit, obviously. All right, so Rogers has done nothing but lose spots, which due to the lack of top speed is not too surprising. And Mustafa's going to catch him here pretty easily once we get into another straight. So how's the tire life doing? And how's the temperature? Pretty good. All right, come on, Rogers. Don't give him too hard of a time trying to get around you. Ooh, had that box open. All right, Mustafa kind of lost a little bit of ground there, which I'm surprised considering he should have the better speed. All right, Rogers is catching up. So is Mustafa, though. As long as Rogers doesn't be a dick and block him out. I have kind of noticed that Rogers tends to be kind of a dick when Mustafa tries to pass him. But there goes Mustafa in the lead. I'm going to have to keep an eye on his tires, though. We're in almost 9th there, I think we were fighting for. Rogers comes in. Oh, wait, that's not Rogers' car. It's a yellow and black car. Confuses me a little bit. All right, the guy in 10th is pitting. Do we pit? I don't think it's time. Rogers, maybe after this, we'll pit. Because for whatever reason, his tires are actually not doing great. Probably because the setup isn't as good. I'll go ahead and have him pit. And if mediums aren't going to be doing him much good, I don't even know what to do. And we'll get him fueled up. He should be fine on his parts condition. Yeah. And we'll just do normal pit. And Mustafa up here is now in 5th, which is perfect. I think he can go around one more time on these tires. I may back him off to neutral here. Now, the temperature should be a little bit warmer. Ooh, we do have rain on the forecast. Hitting now might be a bad call with Rogers with medium. So let's cancel that. Let's give him soft. Refuel him up, obviously. And that will, I think, be the better call. So Mustafa is going to have to stay out on these tires until we know what the weather is going to be like. So let's just see about that. So we're in 3rd. Rogers is in 4th. We're going to keep burning fuel here. We should be okay on fuel. But I want to get a more accurate idea of what the weather's going to be like. I think we pit with Mustafa. And the main reason we do that is I think we have enough ground in between us that we're not going to lose too many places. And we're going to go on softs and get our fuel back. And then I'm going to go super aggressive on these tires for both cars, because I think we're going to need to change the tires to intermediates maybe if it continues to rain. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and go to push for both cars because they're both coming in. They can run their tires. I mean, there's not much left of this lap. But I think it's a good idea to pit now. While we've got a good opportunity here. We're going to lose some places, but we should come out before the pack crosses too far. All right, we're down in the 9th. But now it's time to really attack here. So, you are going to be on the attack, and you're going to be on overtake. You, same rules. Attack, overtake. Get me some places here. While the conditions are still set for rain, let's eat through these tires while we've got the chance. And everybody in the top positions are pitting now, which is great, because that means they have fresher tires, but they're the wrong kind of tires. So here comes in the weather. We're going to keep an eye on the tires, though. Make sure they don't get super hot. Which they may do. So far, so good. All right, here comes the rain. People are pitting. We'll have to see what kind of tires they get. Oh, it's going to get wet. All right, they're going in and they're getting intermediates. So, both Rogers and Mustafa are going to have to pit here. And we're going to fuel up. And that's pretty much good for me. And Rogers... I could pit you now, but I'd like you to go around another time. So now you can be told to pit. You're going to get intermediates. You're going to get filled up with fuel. And out you go. All right. I think this is good strategy because it allows us to use the tires a little bit more here. And also maybe make a big gap here in between... 4th and all of the other places when we actually pit. Rogers I don't think is going to make as much ground, but... Alright, I'm going to back off on the order here for the engine. And I'm going to wait until he pits to tell him to back off on the tires. Alright, now you can back off the tires here. And you go ahead and back off on your engine. And we'll back off the tires once you come in. Alright, we're on the intermediates. Okay. You're in. Back off the tires. Alright, out we go. We did lose a place. Maybe we'll lose down to 6th. But guy in 6th does have the right tires, so this is going to be... Alright, so good stop for Rogers, but unfortunately he's losing places nonetheless. Okay, the guy in 1st and 2nd are pitting. I don't think we're going to be able to make ground on them. I mean, we're not going to pass them. We'll make ground on them. As long as we keep the guy in 6th and 7th and 8th and so on behind us, that's what's really important for Mustafa here. And we'll back off on him on the tires at the very least. And you can do the same. Now, it does look like it's going to dry off here at some point. Whether or not it will stop raining, I do not know. We'll have to see. But we're where we need to be with Mustafa. We've got good tire life. We've got good fuel. I might even want to back off on the throttle. If it wasn't for the fact that 6th and so on is so close to him, I will back off on the throttle with Rogers because there's a big gap in between him and the guys in the back and the guys in front of him. Maybe we can use pitch strategy for him. I'm going to keep an eye on the temperature, though, so we don't get the tires cooling off too much here. Let's go back on to push, so we can get the guy in 6th off our butt. All right, well, you know what? I think we're kind of in for the long haul at this point, so let's go ahead and speed time up. All right, I'm going to slow it down a little bit here. I'm going to start telling him to push so he gets temperature back in his tires. All right, well, that is interesting. I'm going to ignore him. What are other people doing? Does anybody else have wets? Because, I mean, I don't see the point of nobody else. And it's going to dry off. I mean, that's what's projected here. So, I'm watching, though, because there are some people pitting. I want to see what tires they come out with. They came out with intermediates, so there's no disadvantage staying on the intermediates. Yeah, everybody's coming out with intermediates, so I'm not changing. Because it's going to dry off. They're complaining now, but we'll be fine. Now, the guy behind it is eating through his tires, and he just hit the guy getting out of the pits, which slowed him down. And we managed to get in 4th here. Guy in 5th is back on our butt, though. So we're just going to have to hang here. I'm going to back off on the engine, though, just because fuel is getting a little bit short here. At least in Mustafa's car it is. I'm in 2nd now. Other people are pitting, but they're taking intermediates because that is the right call as it is drying off. Actually, it's drying off pretty dramatically. If we can stay out long enough that it would actually be a good idea to come in with a different tire setup, I will. Fuel is a big determining factor with Mustafa's car. I'm going to back off on his tires too, so he can just stay out there a little bit longer. And we'll do the same here. I might even conserve fuel. Just a little bit. I don't know if I have much choice here. I think I have to come in. But it's drying off so quickly, I'd hate to come in and get intermediates. I don't have enough fuel to make it around. So we'll just speed up a little bit here and go back onto attacking the tires. And we're going to have to pit him. I don't think we have much choice. But I would like to come in and actually take normal tires. Where are we on the race? It's not going to dry off enough, though, is the problem. It's going to still be a little wet even when the race is over. So I think pitting and getting intermediates is not the end of the world. So we'll pit here. We got to pit. We need the fuel. But we only need enough fuel to get around that many laps. So we'll take that much fuel. And we already took our tires. All right, let's get in there. And then with Rogers, I think I'll pit as well. There's no point keeping him out there. We'll get inners on him. And fuel, again, we're going to need him to have enough fuel to get around. That should be fine, I think. And we'll pit. And we are already on conservative fuel him. Let's back off a little bit. So we're in 2nd. We've got a big gap with behind us for 5th, 6th, and 7th. We're probably going to lose 3rd and 4th. But I have the feeling the guy behind me might be pitting because of the danger signs that are flashing. All right. Got our fuel. We're out in 5th. We had a little bit of mistake in the pits. Do I want him to burn fuel? He's going to actually have extra fuel here. Let's burn it. And you can go on to a more aggressive style here. I don't know if we want to burn your fuel, though. All right, so we're in 6th. We want to stay there if we can. 16th in the back, though. If our team is going to do better, we're going to need to get a better driver in our 2nd slot. All right, well, let's see how this race plays out at this point. Rogers could burn more fuel, but I'm a little bit hesitant to do that. Guy in 7th is really fighting us, which I am not happy about. I did not expect to lose as many places as I did, and this is actually putting us in the danger zone as far as positioning and getting our sponsorship here. Especially as that just happened. We're on his butt, but I don't know if we're going to be able to pull this out. I might have a problem with my brakes, guys. Definitely not getting the usual response. We're going to have to ignore him. It's too late in the race to fix his tires. I mean, his brakes. As a matter of fact, you can push your car a little bit. If your brakes fail, I'm sorry. But we're on the last race here. I mean, last lap here. All right, let's overtake now. I'm going to watch his fuel closely, but we should have plenty of fuel here. And it looks like we're coming in on the guy in 6th, so there's 6th. We might be able to get 5th here. I think Rogers is probably just going to drop in positions. I'm going to have to keep an eye closely on the fuel gauge. I think that's it, though. We're going to make it around with what fuel we have. All right, well, we did it. Not that it matters, but we had extra fuel to burn. Yeah, it was a disaster. I apologize, my friend. And Ja gets the first place finish. All right, well, it wasn't exactly what we were looking for, but it wasn't terrible. Let's see what we got here. So Mustafa did 3 stops. That seemed like kind of the norm. Rogers did 3 stops. Maybe not the best, but I mean, his car really wasn't set up for this race either, so he did suffer a little bit as a result. Brakes went out at the end there. That just shows you how much we have to improve their brakes for sure. But let's go ahead and go on to the race results here. We didn't break any rules. There was a penalty there. These are drive-through penalties, though, so they would have happened during the race. And then a couple people got demoted, but considering that they were in the back anyway... Oh, this guy got the fastest lap, and he's down here. Wow. All right, well... I think Rogers... I mean, Mustafa, it said he went up, but I think he actually lost a position. Oh, no, wait, this was the race finish, not points in their standing. So we're in 6th. Okay. We got the sponsorship. That's what we're looking for. And... Oh, no, actual position was 5th. Oh, it's driving. Geez, I'm getting confused. Driver championship standings, 5th. We didn't move anywhere here. We're actually equal to the guy in 4th, though. So, theoretically, we are 4th. Tied for 4th, anyway. All right. And Rogers kind of stuck where he was. But there is, not too much of a gap here in front of and behind him. So, he could improve or drop. Let's continue on to the actual team, though, where we're in 6th, and I think Firebird picked up points on us because I think the gap had narrowed, and it's not maybe as narrow as it was. I'm not exactly sure, but we definitely have more of a gap behind us, though, and it's more than likely we'll finish in 6th, unless we do fantastic in the last race or do terrible in the last race. We'll have to see. Okay. All right, well. Mustafa's where we want him. Rogers is going to probably be replaced at the end of the season with a better driver. We might keep him on as a reserve driver because he's not terrible for this series or this championship. All right, well, relationship with mechanics are doing quite well. Marketability went up a little bit. So let's continue here. We get some nice cash because we did manage to get our sponsorship bonus. And getting standings here. All right, well, let's go and take a look at our mailbox here. So, hard condition update, we have to repair, and then hard fought win for Ja. We never really were close to getting first place. We were in second at best, so that's not too bad. Nothing really to see here. We have 2 million now. The idea was to save money, though, for facilities. So we're going to keep with that, even though braking is something we definitely need to improve. All right, well, in any case, let's go ahead and continue here. Car repair is going to be finished. Yep, it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at our improving of parts. So we're almost to 100% here. It doesn't look like we'll have it done in time for the race, though, because we're not giving priority to it. But I'm not going to really worry about that because we're trying to improve the parts here at this point. And see if we can get that. Well, we're definitely going to get that done, so. Let's pause here because we also finished scouting a driver, and we also have sponsorships to take a look at. So this guy, maybe the kind of driver we're looking for next season. I'm not going to pick up anyone. All right, so qualifying in practice. So his smoothness has got a reduction. That's permanent. And then he's partying, which makes him marketable, but he also loses points. That right there is going to make me not want to pick him up because this is permanent and bad. So, I mean, this doesn't really matter. So this is going to affect him all the time. Well, in any case, let's go ahead and take a look at the sponsors here. So we've got slot number 1 open. I think this was our more conservative bonus in the past. We'll have to see how conservative we get of offers now. Still looks conservative. So we've got 10th or above, 400,000. 12th or above, 250,000 a race. But we also get 300,000 up front. Or we get 14th or above and 150,000 per race. I think we go with the 12th or above. Not because I think that we'll be finishing that anymore, but because I just want the upfront cash, because it's unlikely that will be finishing down here anymore. Granted, 400,000 per race, finishing 10th or above is not bad. It just, I think that we're going to be going for the 6th or above sponsorship pretty much all the time now. And I think I would rather just have the upfront cash. If we're going to get any value out of these sponsorships. So I'm going to take this offer and get the cash. And I think this is a good point to go ahead and put a cut in the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. We finished okay. Rogers has not been doing as well at the end of the season as he was doing in the beginning of the season. But we'll probably be replacing him in the next season. So I'm not too worried about it. In any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. This is Moss Gunner, signing out.